yes, Donald Trump is in fact a fascist, and no other than Michael Tomasky, who's the editor at the New Republic. His new book points that out, gives the examples. But this discussion between Anand Hiradharadas, Stephanie Rule, as well as Morning Joe and others, points out exactly the problem we have. And it's a problem with the media. It's a problem with politicians fearing to come out and say things the way they are because of a false balance. Listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
When you have people saying, oh, we can't impeach him, and then they go, oh, we can't prosecute him for the stealing of nuclear secrets, then the covering up of the stealing of nuclear secrets, then the lying to the Justice Department about stealing nuclear secrets, and then the lying to the FBI about the stealing of nuclear secrets, and then the attempt to destroy cameras that show you stole nuclear secrets, then the attempt to flood the facilities to hide the fact you stole nuclear secrets. And you've got Mitt Romney, who's supposed to be the paragon of virtue for the Republican Party, saying, let him go. Please, where does this lead us as a nation?
That is how fascism wins, Joe. And as Jonathan just said a couple minutes ago, you pair all of that, the past actions, with what he is plainly telling us he's going to do if he gets power again. You know, he hasn't made any secret of this. The Project 2025 spells it out very clearly. There have been many leaks to the New York Times and other publications from his people saying what they're going to do in terms of, for example, rounding up undocumented immigrants and so on. And then there's his own recent Time magazine interview, that shocking interview just a couple weeks ago, where he said openly the things he is going to do. I guess some would dispute the term fascism. I sure don't. I know millions and millions of Americans don't. When he says, the threat is internal and these people are vermin polluting our country, that's fascist rhetoric. There's no way around it. So what we've done, if I may just quickly plug, we have 8 essays in our new issue by some of the great historians of fascism in our country, Ruth Ben-Ghiat being one of them, and other pieces. Brian Stelter, formerly of CNN, did a fantastic, chilling piece on what might happen to the media. Just 8 different articles looking at what this country might be like if he reassumes power and has his way and does the things he and his people are telling us they're going to do.
And by the way, Anand, everything that they write about, Donald Trump has already promised to do.
Yeah. And I think what's really interesting is thinking about this interview you did is that a lot of the reaction to Trump is not about ideology. It's about personality type. And I think since 2015, he came down the elevator. There have been 2 dominant personalities we've seen processing him. One of clarity and one that has this kind of emotional need to pursue balance at any price. Right? You see it in the media and you see it in leaders. I think I look at someone like Romney there, and it's this deep constitutional need to be balanced, no matter what. And so, yes, he's a criminal, but he should be part. Anytime you say anything that acknowledges the reality of the danger, there are these people, and they're in our media. They run newspapers.
But that's
they run
not constitutional balance. That's
no. I don't mean constitution like inner constitution.
Yes. Oh, okay.
They
People
think that
they're in their inner constitution. It actually has nothing to do with what's happening. There's a certain personality type that is very dangerous for a moment like this.
Romney is thinking, this is better to balance my constitution than actually protect
the Constitution. That he almost has a need, and a lot of people do. And I think it has actually been one of the biggest problems in the media also processing Trumpism, where you have newspapers that are very used to covering normal 2 sides, low taxes, high taxes, big government, small government. But when it is, do we do democracy anymore or not? There's this kind of both sidesing impulse. And that to me was the political version of the both sidesing impulse. And it's the wrong personality for, if Michael and the New Republic is right that we are in this very different historical moment where fascism, it is the wrong personality to protect the country in this time.
Anand's absolutely right, because in our conversation, we talked about, what would a second term look like for President Biden, or Donald Trump, right? The country is so polarized. It's divided. Joe Biden has actually gotten a ton done on a bipartisan bipartisan basis.
True.
And I said, what would he need to do in the next term to try to really bring, people together? And I said, and what would Trump do? And he said, obviously, Trump is not looking to unite the country. He specializes in dividing it. And in it, he said, Joe Biden is a good guy. I like Joe Biden. And he didn't say that about Donald Trump. So I asked him about that. And immediately he needed to equate things. He wasn't going to say, I like Donald Trump. He's a good guy. He said, well, he's a laugh riot. He's really funny. And I'm like, really? Like
What?
that? Because he had to create an equivalent.
The riot.
So there it is. She nails it. Imagine if politicians really spoke the truth. Imagine if the media would not cower as they talk about Donald Trump, as they talk about what he represents, as they talk about Project 2025, as they tell Americans what's really in store and give the example and the proof in every single platform, but they won't. And why don't they? Because they want to maintain this false balance. As soon as you leave those tracks, there's a left track and a right track. Well, at times you have to get off the tracks altogether to point out truths, but they won't do it. And that's why we still have a slight risk of the country becoming a fascist country if Donald Trump becomes president. But the thing about it is that's what you have to work about. Educate Americans, we get a landslide. Keep them uneducated, and it's a 50-50 proposition who becomes president and whether we keep our democracy.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.